Hi, my name is Ahmedov. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the graphs and the equations of quadratic functions. We first are going to discuss how to sketch a graph of a quadratic function if we are given the equation. And later on, we're going to discuss if we are given the graphs, how we can figure out the equation of a quadratic function. So if the equation of a quadratic function is given in this form, it is called as the complete square form. Then it's really easy for us to sketch the graph because this h and k are, so the value of this h and k are going to tell us the vertex. So this is going to be the minimum point or the maximum point of this parabola. So the coordinates of the vertex. And this value of the a is going to tell us whether this parabola is looking upward or looking downward. So if this value of the a is positive, then the parabola is going to be like this, looking upward. If the value of the a is negative, then the parabola is going to look downward. Basically, from this vertex, this parabola is going to look downward if the value of the a is smaller than the 0. But at the same time, we can control the broadness of this parabola by controlling the values of the a. So as we increase this value of the a, then this graph is going to be shrinked. So it's going to be shrinked as we increase the a. So if the a is smaller, then it's going to be more broader for the smaller value of the a. So let's try to play with the graph of the equation which is given in this form and try to figure out how the things are changing. So what I would like to do is I would like to figure out this, hey, y, I would like to draw this curve, y is equal to the a times x minus 2 in the square plus 1, okay? Where the a is, let's say, equal to the 1, first of all. So in order to do this, I'm going to use the GeoGebra. This is an application which we can use to sketch the graph. So let me first describe the a. The value of the a is going to be equal to the a is equal to the 1, for example. Then I'm going to describe the parabola. It's going to be a times x minus 2 in the square plus 1, right? So this is what we have described here. So if you're given the parabola in this form with the x minus 2 here in the brackets and plus 1, the vertex here is going to have this coordinate, right? Was the x coordinate 2 and y coordinate to be equal to the 1, okay? And if the value of the a is positive, so here the value of the a is given to be equal to 1, then the parabola is going to look upward. What happens if I just increase the value of the a is that this parabola is going to be shrinked. So let me show you. So if I just increase the value of the a, so if I just make it bigger, then it's going to be shrinked. Then if I just make it smaller, then it's going to be broader. Okay, you see? So it's going to be broader. If I make it increase, so if I increase the values of the a, it's going to be shrink. What happens if the a goes to the negative is that this parabola is simply going to look downward. And again, if I just increase the value of the a, its absolute value, then it's going to be shrink. If I decrease this, it's going to be broader. So this is essentially what we should know if we would like to sketch the graph of the parabola, which is given in this form, in the complete square form. So now we're going to discuss about the inverse problem. So basically, if you are given a curve or the graph of the parabola, so how to figure out the equation of this parabola. So we first of all are going to discuss how to get the complete square form. And we know that we can get the standard equation, standard form, by just opening the brackets in the complete square form. So let's do this. So we first of all need to know that since we are given the vertex of this parabola, then we can write down. So if you remember, the template of the complete square form was y is equal to a times x minus h in the square plus k, where the vertex is going to be h and k. Then from this vertex, so since the vertex is given as 2 and minus 1, so I'm just going to substitute h to be equal to the 2 and k to be equal to the minus 1, and we can figure out that the equation of this parabola is going to be a times x minus 2 in the square minus 1, right? So the only problem is, what is this value of the a? What is this a? So in order to define exact value of this a, we are going to use this point. So since we are given the point P with the x coordinate to be equal to the 0 and y coordinate to be equal to the 1 on the parabola, then if I just substitute this point to this equation, it should satisfy this. So the left-hand side should be equal to the right-hand side. So instead of y on the left-hand side, I'm going to substitute 1 is equal to the a times, so instead of x on the right hand side, I'm going to substitute 0. So it's going to be 0 minus 2 in the square minus 1. Then if the 1 goes to the left, it's going to be 2 is equal to the a times minus 2 in the square, it's going to be 4. Then from here, we can figure out that the a is equal to the 1 over 2. Well, the equation of this parabola is equal to 1 over 2 x minus 2 in the square minus 1, which fits to our theory about the parabola, the equations of the parabola, right? So if you remember, it basically tells you that, hey, if this value of the a is positive, then it's going to look upward, right? And at the same time, if this value of the a is smaller, then it's going to be broader. The shape of the parabola is going to be broader. So if you're asked to find the standard equation of the parabola, then it's still like the straightforward problem. You just need to open the brackets and simplify the things up. So let's say it's going to be 1 over 2 times x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 1. If you multiply 1 over 2 to all the terms, it's going to be 1 over 2x squared minus 2x plus 2 minus 1, so it's going to be 1 over 2x squared minus 2x plus 1. So this is the standard form equation of the parabola. So let's do one more exercise. So if you are given this graph, so how to figure out again the equation of the parabola in the complete square form and in the standard form. And again, let me remind you that the template of the complete square form is a times x minus h in the square plus k with the vertex of the parabola at the point h and k. So if we are given the vertex here with the coordinates 2 and 5, then I'm going to just substitute x to be equal to the, h to be equal to the 2 and k to be equal to the 5 to this equation. Then the equation of the parabola, which I'm looking for, is in the form of y is equal to the a times x minus 2 in the square plus 5. And the only thing which we need to know is what is this exact value of the a. So obviously, since this parabola is looking downward, the value of the a is negative, right? So if you remember previously, you were given a point in order to find the value of the a, while we're not given this point explicitly. But what I see from this graph is that this parabola is passing through the origin, so which has the coordinates 0 and 0. So basically, if I substitute x to be equal to the 0 and y to be equal to the 0, the equation of the parabola should be satisfied, and I can find the value of the a from there. So let us find this. So I'm going to just substitute y to be equal to the 0 is equal to the a times 0 minus 2 in the square plus 5. So if the 5 goes to the left, it's going to be minus 5 is equal to the 4a. So from here, we can figure out the value of the a, which is going to be equal to the minus 5 over 4, which fits to our theory that if the value of the a is negative, then the parabola is going to be downward, right? So the equation of the parabola is going to be minus 5 over 4 times this x minus 2 in the square plus 5. And again, this is the equation of the parabola in the complete square form. If you are required to figure out the If you're required to find the equation of the parabola in the standard form, you just need to open the brackets. So let's do this together. So it's going to be minus 5 over 4 x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 5. So I'm going to just open the brackets up. So it's going to be minus 5 over 4x squared plus 5x minus 5 plus 5. If we simplify the terms, it's going to be minus 5 over 4x squared plus 5x. Again, the equation of the parabola in the standard form is going to be minus 5 over 4x squared plus 5x. So please note that depending in which form you need to find, so you can transform this equation. So this is called as a standard form, and this is called the complete square form. Okay, so hopefully this video was useful for you to figure out the graphs, the connection of the graphs and the equations of the quadratic functions.